The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The health department is sounding the alarm over the Omicron variant, saying that hospitals need to prepare. In an interview with the chiefs, Vergere said that there is a high chance that the Omicron might overwhelm the health system. That's why she says hospitals should beef up their beds and equipment. Still, the health official says there is no need to panic about this variant.
The Omicron variant is a concern. It is actually a global concern right now. And WHO also is sounding the alarm. So it's really a concern. Pero hindi natin kailangan magpanic. Kailangan po mag-prepare. Yung posibilidad po of overwhelming the system, that will always be a possibility. Kaya kailangan i-prevent po natin na mangyari.
Meanwhile, former Health Secretary Esperanza Cabral says that the government should tighten border controls to prevent the entry of more Omicron cases. She also said Christmas revelers should stick with socially distanced parties, alfresco dining, and the express delivery of gifts.
Para sa akin ay pwede pa rin yung alert level 2. Kailangan lamang na sundin natin lahat yung patakaran sa alert level 2. Dahil kung makikita natin ngayon, miski na alert level 2 tayo, talaga namang parang wala ng alert level ang nangyayari. So kailangan bumalik tayo sa totoong alert level 2.
The most wonderful time of the year is upon us, and as the season of gift-giving approaches, the health department urges the public to explore virtual ways of celebrating the holidays. Shaila Francisco tells us more.
As early as now, 4-year-old Jana is coming up with ways to collect her aguinaldo without actually knocking on the doors of her ninongs and ninangs. She's not just dancing to Christmas songs, but is putting animation to her video, which she uploaded on social media. Her mother says it's better to take extra precautions amid the pandemic.
Para sa akin, mas importante pa rin yung nakasanayan natin, yung tradisyon natin before na nagpapalitan ng regalo, yung mga bata, ganun. Pero okay lang din naman since marami naman ang paraan ngayon ng online. Bilang isang magulang, iisipin ko pa rin po yung safety ng anak ko.
While restrictions have been relaxed, some ninongs and ninangs still plan to give online gifts, like Carlo, who has 20 nephews and nieces. He's making up for last year as he wasn't able to give out ampaos. That's why he tells his inaanaks just expect cash gifts to be sent through e-wallets.
As far as yung Christmas spirit, medyo iba pa rin kasi yung personal na gift giving. Pero at least meron siyang alternative na pwede kang magbigay na walang physical contact.
Using GCash, users can send their cash gifts through the Send Pamasko feature. On PayMaya, they can use the Send Money feature. And you can even add GIFs and themes.
They can send pamasko anytime and anywhere to anyone, whether it's to another PayMaya account, to another bank account, o kahit send to someone na walang financial account via smart padala. And no charge kasi sasagot na namin yung InstaPay fee transfer nila.
Aside from cash, ninongs and ninangs can maximize the use of e-wallets in sending gifts to their inaanaks. They can send virtual gifts such as loads and e-vouchers, or they can buy gifts such as this using their e-wallets and send these to the houses or addresses of their nephews and nieces.
E-wallets have partner merchants ranging from restaurants, fashion, books, and others. Menandro did just that, saying he plans to give his nephew a toy car instead of cash.
Ako nag-work ako, so I do visit a lot of places, and if mag-visit ako sa kanila, it can affect them sa health nila. Better to give them something that they can use or they can play with. Yes, mas ma-appreciate nila.
The health department says children can still enjoy their gifts from ninongs and ninangs without exposing themselves to COVID.
Lagi po natin tatandaan ng atin pong mga kabataan, those less than 12 years old, wala pa po silang bakuna. So yung protection po na na-enjoy ngayon ng ating mga magulang at ang ating mga kuya at ate, hindi pa ho na-enjoy ni Bunso. So sana po mas maingat tayo para sa ating mga kabataan. Kung kailangan pong namamasko po, maaari naman ho siguro magkamustahan ang inaanak at saka niyang ninang through virtual means o kaya ay sa telepono, at saka na po tayo magkita-kita ng harapan kapag po talagang sigurado na tayo, naligtas tayo sa banta ng Omicron variant.
Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
If you're not done with your Christmas shopping yet, you might want to consider buying from local shoemakers in Marikina to help the sector bounce back from the pandemic. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us the front seat to the story.
Still looking for the perfect gifts for your loved ones this Christmas? Why don't you try these quality and budget-friendly footwear in Marikina City? More than a year after being shut down due to the pandemic, the shoe capital has finally reopened its annual Christmas shoe bazaar to the public. Local shoemakers like Noel Evangelista say they can finally breathe.
Dahil nga po nagkaroon ng pandemic, so hindi po siya naging necessity ng mga tao. Talagang malaking bagay po sa mga magsasapatos.
The Sea Point store is among 40 manufacturers who are in this year's bazaar. Although they've suffered because of the lockdown, the local manufacturers haven't raised their prices. This topsider, for example, ranges from 900 to 1,000 pesos, while these driver shoes can be yours for only 650 pesos. You can also grab a pair of handmade leather shoes for less than 2,500 pesos, depending on the design. The bazaar also showcases wallets ranging from 150 to 300 pesos, coin purses for 20 pesos each, and women's bag like this one for 799 pesos, or this travel bag for only 450 pesos. The LGU said COVID-19 restrictions have affected the livelihood of more than 6,000 shoemakers.
Yung mga gawa naman na nasa tinatawag nating backyard, sila yung talagang labis na naapektuhan dahil hindi na nakasabay dun sa mga malalaki.
The city government is encouraging the public to support the Marikina shoemakers, whose craftsmanship they say are at par with those of foreign brands.
Sana po tangkilikin po natin parati ang mga lokal na produkto na ginagawa po sa atin. Pag tinangkilik nyo siyempre ang gawang lokal, lalo na dito sa Marikina, matutulungan nyo ang mga walang trabaho.
The bazaar is located at the Marikina Freedom Park. It will run until January 15 next year. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, we are One News.
2 suspects were arrested in a buy-bust operation in Pasay City. Not for drugs, but for selling pangolins, which are considered critically endangered. Arian Calumbiran with the details.
These pangolins were weak and trapped in a fishnet when they were rescued by the Environment Department in a seafood market in Pasay City. Authorities found the pangolins during a buy-bust operation. The agency says the animals were about to be brought to a Chinese restaurant beside the seafood market, where they are to be sold for around 25,000 to 30,000 pesos each. Authorities explain the pangolins were illegally caught by locals in Palawan and were then shipped to their accomplices in Metro Manila. The DENR says the surge in pangolin trafficking in the country is concerning as their population is starting to dwindle in Palawan.
Masyadong in demand yung kanyang scale, yung blood, yung meat niya, ginagamit din sa mga Chinese restaurants, no? Yung traditional medicine din na ginagamit, ginagawang powder na sinasabi nila na ito ay nakagagamot. So rampant ang poaching.
During the operation, authorities were able to arrest Rowena Pindot and Joel Quino, who received the buy-bust money worth 75,000 pesos. But the suspects claim they were only hired to bring the pangolins to the Chinese restaurant.
Lately lang po talaga, sinabay lang po talaga yan. Ito po kasi yung transaction sa amin, parang pinikap lang po yan dyan sa Pasay po.
The suspects vowed to identify the suppliers of the pangolins, but this came too little too late as the DENR has already filed charges against them for violating the Wildlife Protection Act.
Napaka critically endangered ang category nito. So once you nahuli ka nito, 6 years, no? Kada isa ang bubunin mo na penalty na pagkakulong.
The pangolins will temporarily stay at the DENR's office where they will be nursed back to health, after which they will be brought back to Palawan for their release. Aryan Kalumbiran, We Are One News.
Millions of fans across the world bear witness to the continued evolution of K-pop, even in the midst of COVID-19. Bloomberg's Sohee Kim reports how award ceremonies like Mnet Asian Music Awards are using technology to draw fans both online and offline. Let's watch this.
Overall, I think K-pop has been continuously growing.
올해는 어떻게 보면 마마가 그동안 아시아 시상식에서 월드 넘버원 K-팝 뮤직 어워즈로 새롭게 도약하는 원년으로 생각하고 있습니다.
Mama, or Mnet Asian Music Awards, first launched at South Korea's music awards ceremony in the country in 1995, but the event has grown with the rise of K-pop, taking place across Asia from Hong Kong to Japan.
This is one of the biggest global K-pop award ceremony that takes its places every year, marked with performances by the year's hottest celebrities.
In order to meet strict government COVID protocols, the event was held in front of a live audience of less than 500, with all fans having to bring their negative PCR test results. It was also streamed live to global fans.
I miss their cheers. 맞아요. 함성 소리. 요즘에는 그래도 좀 보는데 소리를 못 지르니까 그게 제일 그리워요. 그 무대 위에서 팬분들한테 얻는 에너지가 그립습니다.
It's not just K-pop. Entertainment venues like theaters and concert halls were shut during the months-long lockdown in 2020, and artists had to find new ways to interact with fans through virtual concerts.
It was a huge part of our journey, I guess. COVID itself is a really tough situation for everyone, I feel like, all around the world. But for us, as a K-pop artist, we have to perform in front of our fans, but that's not allowed. So it was a tough year for us.
For this year's award ceremony, the producers used augmented reality and extended reality technology on stage to create a more immersive experience for those watching online. The event demonstrates K-pop's soft power along with other cultural exports, dramas and movies including Parasite, and recent Netflix hits like Squid Game.
Not just K-pop, but Korean dramas. You used to have gatekeepers, which were the major media companies, and the power of fans and social media got rid of all the gatekeepers. So K-pop is really indicative, I think, of the world that we live in now, and also the potential for all other types of content going forward.
According to Delogic data, funds raised by entertainment listings in Seoul this year rose to record high of $3.8 billion. And Twitter revealed K-pop as a subject matter set a new record with 7.5 billion tweets from July 2020 to June 2021. CJ Group has been investing in the country's pop culture for more than 2 decades, and it plans to spend more than $4 billion on content production over the next 5 years.
We've spent the last 20 years kind of being missionaries, mercenaries for Korean content, constantly, putting Korean content out to the world. It's actually Korean entertainment that has really supercharged the appetite for these, beauty products and food around the world. Live that lifestyle. It's all about lifestyle for us. There's culture and there's the things that make you happy.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. The COMELEC is set to decide on the first petition seeking to cancel the COC of Bongbong Marcos before the holiday break. The National Task Force Against COVID-19 places 8 countries and territories on its red list. These include Andorra, France, Monaco, Northern Marianas, Reunion, San Marino, South Africa, and Switzerland. And 39% or almost 4 in 10 Filipinos are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And those are the day's top stories.